Oh dear, some more potential issues for Star Wars. As you can see here, James Mangold, his Star Wars prequel movie, the origin, in fact, the origin of Star Wars, the origin of the Jedi, is in major doubt. Why? Because he signed a big deal with Paramount, which will take his time away. Also, the fact that we've never heard much about it since it was announced, which is typical for Star Wars, it seems, these days. So, thought we'd cover this. Hit subscribe if you're new here, turn the bell notifications on. A little bit old on this now. A few days old. But it's still worthwhile covering. Because it is just the joke that keeps on joking, isn't it? Star Wars. Just, I don't know. It definitely follows that pattern. So we come up to either Star Wars Celebration or an investor meeting call. One of the two. Or it's not Star Wars Celebration. Or is it like D23 or something like that? Anyway, whatever, these expo things. And then they just announce a slew of movies. And you're like, huh. Well, initially, everyone was like, oh, okay, some of this is interesting. That's before everyone watched the movies, of course. And then half of them would just never materialise. And that was it, really. This is just the pattern that keeps happening. Announce a slew of films with no concrete desire to make them. Or no concrete... I mean, they're not locked in. Let's put it that way. They're not locked in, right? Ryan Johnson was supposed to be making another trilogy. Where's that? There's so many films. Patty Jenkins, where's that? Gone. There was another indie filmmaker. Gone. Taika Waititi's movie. Gone. There's so many movies that are just not there. Because they keep announcing them. But then they don't materialise. Anyway, I digress. It is just comical to keep looking back and seeing just the nonsense that comes out of Star Wars and Lucasfilm. It's funny as hell. So, let's take a look at this, right? So, is James Mangold actually directing Star Wars Dawn of the Jedi? Probably not. Probably not. I mean, we can say with the utmost certainty, the percentage chance of that happening is that there's a higher chance of it not happening than there is it happening, even though it's been announced. Because that's the statistical likelihood of Star Wars movies that have been announced, is that they never get made. Basically. That's just stats for you, unfortunately. They bear out the truth. So yeah, recent developments cast an aura of doubt over Lucasfilm's Jedi origin film. Oh no. Oh dear. James Mangold has just inked a major deal with Paramount Pictures to develop, direct and produce feature films for the studio. It's a career win for Mangold, which is, yeah, good for him. Loads of people don't like him because he did Indiana Jones and he did badmouth people. I still stand by some of the films that he's made, like, are actually good. Ford versus Ferrari, brilliant film. 310 to Yuma, brilliant film. He has done good stuff. I don't know what he was thinking with this dog shit, but whatever. So the news comes with ripple effects, particularly for Lucasfilm. The director was announced last year. Still no movement on it. Last year! We're going to make it? I don't know. Who knows? As the creative force behind Dawn of the Jedi, a Star Wars project that was supposedly set to explore the origins of the Force. Because we just need to know that, don't we? So now with Mangold's plate filling up at Paramount, questions are multiplying. Is the James Mangold Dawn of the Jedi movie yet another Lucasfilm project destined to join the graveyard of big announcements that never happened? Probably, genuinely. So, Mangold's rocky Lucasfilm history, worth taking a look at, to be honest. Before even getting to Dawn of the Jedi, it's worth remembering that Mangold's already delivered a major embarrassment for Lucasfilm. So Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, most recent budget totals come to $419 million for that film. And it lost money, like a lot of money for Lucasfilm and Disney. Not a small amount. So, yeah, they kind of screwed that massively. And it is funny, isn't it? Because they announced him on a Star Wars movie pretty much as that film would come out, I think, or just before that film would come out. And I remember saying at the time, I was like, if that bombs, he's not continuing. Like, he won't continue. Why would you do it? Why would you continue on with him? Like, come on. So, but this is what's interesting to me. A familiar pattern for Lucasfilm. For over a decade, Lucasfilm has earned a reputation for announcing Star Wars projects that never actually happen. So Patty Jenkins' Rogue Squadron was rolled out with a really high-profile teaser, actually. Like, they would have spent a lot of money on that, not a small amount. That disappeared. Kevin Feige's movie, never happened. Rian Johnson's trilogy, never happened. Taika Waititi's movie, never happened. The Rey movie with Charmin Obaid Chinoy, what's happening with that? Basically nothing. But there's also more. Like, that's not even the half of it. There was Benioff and Weiss, DB Benioff and Weiss. Do you remember that? The Game of Thrones guys? Not happened. Done. Colin Trevorrow, I think? No. Done. There was loads. There's been so many. It's so funny. So, yeah, as it is. But, so, what's this new thing? What's the deal with Paramount? A Hollywood Reporter says that Mangold's new deal puts at least 2 high-level projects at other companies in question. So, his Star Wars film for Lucasfilm and his planned Swamp Thing movie for DC Studios. So, the outlet didn't mince words, stating flatly that he was developing those projects. Was. Which the implication, obviously, is that it's past tense. Which makes sense. Like, yeah. Mangold was developing the Star Wars movie Dawn of the Jedi for Lucasfilm, which was to have explored the origins of the Force. He was developing a horror feature for DC Studios centered on the character Swamp Thing. I mean, there you go. It's pretty clear cut, isn't it? He's not doing it anymore. That alone is enough to raise eyebrows. Lucasfilm has a history of letting directors drift away whilst refusing to admit the projects are dead. So funny. To me, it's hilarious. I think it's brilliant. And anyway, now there's some spin. Gizmodo's Jermaine Lucier reported that Mangold's representatives insists he remains attached and available to develop all his other projects. That includes both Star Wars and Swamp Thing. Of course, the statement never actually says these movies are in any active production, and that's what's important. So he remains available. Yeah, okay. Doesn't mean you're doing it, though. Like, doesn't mean you're doing it right now. Obviously. So yeah, he's ready, but the studios aren't calling, basically, which makes sense. So funny. Lucier followed up on X saying Star Wars and Swamp Thing are still as alive as they previously were, which is like, well, they weren't, were they? They just not really doing anything. So funny. So there you go. Is he doing it? Who knows? Probably not, though. And who cares, quite frankly? So leave your thoughts down below. A bit of fun drifting off into a galaxy far, far away where Kathleen Kennedy couldn't organise a shit in a toilet.